Hi there. So I wanted to give a bit of guidance to athletes who are trying to make sense of how to train right now. So if you're being coached, then your first port of call should be your coach. But if you don't have a coach, then I'm here to help. And everyone's going to have a different take on this, as honestly, none of us have ever had to cope with a world event on this scale. But one thing that we will all agree on is this is a time of major life stress for everyone, and we need to get through it in the best way that we can and in our own way. So first of all, I would look for trusted news sources at this time. Look for good sources of information and use that as your guidance. Limit your exposure to things that make you feel anxious, so you may need to cut down your social media time or avoid certain platforms if you know that they're quite stressy for you. If it's harming you right now, making you feel bad or negative, and make sure you're reaching out to people who can support you. When we're on social media, have a think about what you post. Is it kind? Is it helpful? How would you feel if you read that post? So don't forget that training is also its own stress, and if you overdo it at this time, you're setting yourself up for feeling bad, stressed out and not coping. So your mental health and your overall health must be a priority at this time. And we can do this through exercise and nutrition and hydration, but we need to look at what feels good. So if any of you follow Yoga with Adriene, her community is called Find What Feels Good, and this is an ideal time for you to find out what feels good to you, and you'll soon find out what does and doesn't work. So let's take a look at your work situation. You may be working more and have more work-related stress, so you've got less time for training, or you may be working from home and have a little bit more free time on your hands. Or you may be unable to work and have no income at this time. So these are all situations that you may be in at the moment. And then you've got your training. So some of you will have had your main races cancelled, and some of you will be unsure if your race is going ahead or not. So what do you do? So first of all, I would have a look at why is it that you do the sport? Is it for fitness, community, health, to lose weight, to perform? All of those reasons are valid and all of them are individual. For me, it's for fitness, health and performance. And then you have to take a look at your goal race. Has it been postponed? Has it been cancelled? Has it been deferred? It still may be on. Your goal in training must then align with that. So if your race is cancelled for this year, then look at your why. So mine is to maintain fitness, as I want to be able to compete. If a race does come up and I feel like I want to do it, then I want to be able to perform as best as I can in these times. So I've gone into a bit of a maintenance mode. For some of you, it may be a sense of community, in which case I know a lot of people are organising virtual meetups and working out together on Zwift or on Zoom. You might be doing triathlon for health reasons, so then exercising up to a point is going to keep you healthy. I say up to a point because if you go too deep into training, then you can compromise your immune system and add to stress that's already there, so you might start feeling down and negative. This is a real good opportunity now as well to add in some things like strength and conditioning, practice recovery really well. So for example, yoga, and just taking some deep breaths every now and then and being aware of how you're feeling and what it is that you need. If your goal race is a way off, so I'm thinking about Ironman Wales or any late season races, then you might be stressing about losing fitness, in particular swim fitness. But just remember that everyone is in the same situation. So do what you can, maintain core strengths, do some swim specific exercise and maintain your fitness across the board. But now's not really the time to be building fitness. Remember, you don't want to get yourself into a big training hole. A lot of people follow the Don Fink Ironman plan, which increases distance every week. You probably want to back off and maintain the level that you are at now. And then when you have a bit less life stress, then you can start building again. So the rule of thumb is to increase your training load across the board about 10%. So instead of focusing on what you can't do and stressing about that, look at what you can do and implement it. It's a really good practice actually for doing an endurance event. So think about your why and align your goals with that. Find what feels good for you and adapt as you need to. So I'm going to finish with a quote from a book that I've read recently, which I struggled with quite a lot. I haven't actually finished it yet. And it's called The Way the World Thinks by Julian Baggini. And the quote is, "What is yin yang? Yin yang is timing." So in other words, yin yang responds appropriately to the precise situation as it is now, not as it was or it will be. A wise action today could be a foolish one tomorrow. So take each day as it comes and make the best decisions that you can in the situation that you are in. Be grateful for the small things and we will get through this unusual time. Thanks for listening.